This was the fourth quarter on Wednesday when Jennings and the Knicks bench gave up a 14-2 run to begin the frame, and Milwaukee erased a 14-point deficit to win on the Giannis Antetokounmpo buzzer beater.
And what set up that buzzer beater was he forced a turnover on a sideline out of bounds where Carmelo Anthony threw the ball into Derrick Rose and went off his leg. They reviewed it. It went to Milwaukee and then the game winner. So he made the two key plays to win that game.
And Doug, there has already been 3 fouls called against Milwaukee in this fourth quarter. So perhaps the bonus in the free throw line becomes a factor for the Knicks. Inside, Anthony did a nice job to poke that away. And then again, persistent effort from Carmelo Anthony. Here's Baker cupping it up and in high off the window. And a nice start to the fourth quarter for New York.
I like Ron Baker. He and Van Fleet were terrific guards at Wichita State. They had a great team with those two guys there. Remember that undefeated season?
Sure.
They ended up losing to Kentucky. What a great team that was.
Start alongside Van Fleet and then also back him up so he could play either position. Antetokounmpo? No. Opportunity here for New York.
Can Carmelo play the rest of the game without a rest? And how many minutes can Porzingis play tonight after the Achilles? We'll have to keep an eye on those minutes.
He's at 23 minutes. Anthony's at 28. Kuzminskis finds Baker. The drive. Porzingis with space. He connects. 6-point game.
Well, 2 nice plays by Ron Baker. He had the floater off the glass that time to drive and kick. I always talk about toughness and competitiveness, right? Well, he has got both of those in spades.
Went to the Final Four as a freshman as Jason Terry just threw an elbow up high, and that's going to be a tee on Terry. Exactly the kind of toughness you're talking about, Doug.
I told you, Jason Terry's got a feistiness about him, man. He didn't get this long in this league and play like he has through the years and be a champion. You see right there, and Baker's not going to back down either, so that's going to be a technical on Jason Terry.
Baker was initially called for the personal, I believe, on the tangle with Terry, and then Terry, as the play was still developing, threw that forearm up high at Baker.
I think what they're reviewing is that an elbow to the face, does that become flagrant?
Sure.
Anything up over the shoulders?
It could be a hostile act.
It's like you and I sitting next to here doing this broadcast.
That's right.
It's a hostile act.
Doug, he's very animated when he does a game. You never know where the forearms and elbows may fly.
Getting rib pads. Well, let's take a look here. You can see the elbow to the throat and the push at the end, and then Jason Terry goes like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but so we'll have to review this, see what happens. This could be a little tide-turning kind of play.
As they review it, we want to remind you that First Take is now on ESPN. That's right, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern. Stephen A. Smith, Max, and Molly discuss and debate the most compelling and entertaining topics from the world of sports on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. You know, you mentioned you have to wear a rib pad when you work with it. People don't know this, but like this is all, it's protected.
It's bruised.
Yeah, because that's Doug's broadcast style.
My style.
Can't change him at this point. But Doug, the Knicks right now, a little momentum. You also mentioned, the feistiness of Terry, but the toughness of Baker, who showed some of it there, and he's given a little spark in this fourth quarter.
Well, I think.
And we're going to get the review and ruling right now from Scott Foster. And it's going to be a flagrant one on Jason Terry after the common foul that was called against the Knicks and Ron Baker. So foul on Baker, and then flagrant one on Terry.
Which we thought it was going to be, because once you get your elbow up in a guy's face like that, that almost becomes automatic.
So Baker will go to the line. I wanted to circle back to that, though, Doug, because clearly, Jeff Hornacek, you pointed out, he made the move. He's decided to go with Baker over Jennings here. So far, Baker's really provided.
I mean, Brandon Jennings played in that first half, and he was scattered out there. And if you look at his plus-minus in that first half, he was minus 12 in 4 minutes. Sometimes Coach said, I got to give somebody else a chance. And again, this is Brandon Jennings who spoke out the other day about, we need to be more confrontational. We need to be able to do things and talk to each other. And I mean, he's a terrific player in his addition. But, sometimes you got to give another guy a chance.
Well, and he said he wants everyone to be held more accountable. In this game, he's being held
Exactly.
accountable. Now, the Knicks have cut this to 4 after the flagrant one on Terry. They have the basketball.
Don't you find it interesting? Who went up and knocked in those free throws was Ron Baker.
He got that chance after Terry called for the flagrant. Anthony trying to work around it. Antetokounmpo could not. The length too much. Knicks keep it though. Anthony can't stick. The back tap intercepted. Terry to Antetokounmpo, soaring but not finishing. Now the Knicks in transition. Kuzminskis has some trouble on the gather. Anthony all alone for 3. Truth! And it's a 1-point game.
How often do you see in this league when you miss a layup, a team makes you pay at the other end, either with a 3 or dunk or an easy basket? It's like the cardinal rule of basketball. Miss a layup and you will pay.
The Knicks have outscored the Bucks 12-0 so far in this fourth quarter.
And Ron Baker's been a big part of this run.
Milwaukee 0 for 5 from the floor in the frame. Monroe trying to get an easy one. He will.
Well, Kyle O'Quinn's got to do a better job of getting around and not letting him get the ball in such deep post position. Right, once he gets it down there, it's too late.
17 points, 6 rebounds for Greg Monroe. Knicks cut it to 1 in the third before Milwaukee ended up leading by 13 at the end of the third. Knicks have won just 1 game all year when trailing after 3. And a foul on the rip move there called against Antetokounmpo. You see the strong start to the fourth for New York. Carmelo Anthony with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and this 3 that cut it to 1 a moment ago.
The NBA.